Good evening, everybody. Good evening, family. Pardon the delay. Having some technical difficulties. But again, we back. It's Tuesday on another Tuesday. Nope, not yet, Dr. Campbell. Still not yet. Again, good evening, family, and welcome back to the Roundtable Talk Show on the Knowledge is Power Network. I'm your host, Christopher Unk Jones. And of course, I'm coming to you live today on another Tuesday. I like to call second Tuesdays Super Tuesday because all kinds of stuff is going on today. All kinds of stuff. And so I definitely want you to know, like I said, we are back with another episode 73 of the Roundtable Talk. How about it? And this episode, of course, we try to do something different every now and again. And tonight, our difference is potluck at the round table. Uh, so that means everybody brought something to the table, right? Everybody knows how potlucks go, right? And so somebody always brings something that smells good. Somebody brings something that that looks questionable. Somebody brings a dish wrapped in foil, like it came from grandma's kitchen. And then somebody always brings that potato salad we need to interrogate before it even touches anybody's plate. How about it? I do believe Dustin is backstage. I'm not sure. Oh no. Oh, okay. That was Dr. Campbell's comment. Woo! I hope her plate smell just as good as. Oh man. Like I said, tonight we're not just tasting food, we're tasting truth. Every person at the table has a pot, right? A concern, a contradiction, a warning, a question, um, a hold up why, we aren't talking about this particular thing moment, right? Well, so that's what we're doing today. And we're going to stir every pot. We're going to sample every pot. We're going to ask, what's in it, who cooked it, who served it, who got burned by it, who keeps eating it and who keeps calling it nourishment when it's really poison with seasoning. I, um, I definitely want you to know here at the Roundtable Talk, um, our potlucks aren't our potluck episodes are random, but our potluck conversations aren't. And so I just definitely want you to know it is community inspection. It is what get whispered in kitchens, barbershops, group chats, church parking lots, family gatherings, and neighborhood associations, if you will. But never get fully cooked in public, right? It's the news that gets loud for about 3 days and buried quiet for the next 3 years. It's the question everybody feels, but nobody wants to be the first one to put it on the plate. So tonight we're not coming with weak Dixie plates. I just want y'all to know these sturdy plates. These are very sturdy. You can pile it all on one plate. You don't have to get a whole bunch of them. Dr. Campbell got a pot. Perry got a pot. Dustin got a pot, and I got mine. And of course, I'm gonna bring mine last. But um, yeah. I just definitely want y'all to know, as much as my co-hosts do not like potlucks, I think she brings some heat when she come with that potluck. I promise. Um, she definitely brings the heat because some plates are cooked with truth, some plates are cooked with ego, some plates are cooked with fear, some plates are cooked in somebody else's kitchen and served to us by familiar faces. And if we don't learn how to taste these differences, especially in conversation, we'll continue, and hear me when I say it, we'll continue to keep swallowing narratives that are never meant to nourish us. So family, drop your city in the chat. Go ahead, drop your city in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, invite all of those that's going to be in the space, or that you would invite to the space. And tell us what you brought to the potluck, and answer this question before we even get started. What is one conversation folks keep bringing to the table but never fully cooking it all the way through? And I ain't talking about chicken. I'm sick of the pink bone chicken and folks be trying to serve us calling it fried chicken. Let's get to work. Let me bring in my table. Of course, the crew is definitely with me partially. But first up is my big sister, Dr. Catherine Campbell. Say good evening to the people, big sis. No, we cannot hear you, but I can read lips very well. So go to the bottom, the 3 buttons at the bottom, and check your audio. Tap on it. Might even want to put your earbuds in. Now we can't see you. Yep, try those. Um, we're gonna get her she gonna get us situated. Next up, of course, is my big brother Perry Busby. Say good evening to the people.
Good evening, people.
Yes, indeed. He's the author, historian, analyst, or analyst, if you will. The receipt puller. Perry does not just smell the food. He wants to know who bought the grocery, who paid for the stove, who wrote the receipt, and why somebody changed the ingredients after the fact. Big bro, we need that tonight. I definitely want you to
We're
know.
gonna read the labels.
My little brother Dustin Harris, in his absence, of course, he's the veteran straight shooter, common sense cutter. Dustin brings that real life plate, no garnish, no fake parsley on the side. And hell, at this particular juncture, we ain't eating no vegetables, no way, because we ain't trying to get the flying poopies. Just how does it hit the house, Dustin? Man, that's what he would definitely be bringing if he was in the place. But I want y'all to always keep him in consideration, and his family. So yeah. Dr. Campbell, you got it together? No. You put your earbuds in? Yeah, okay. So go to the 3 button, the little 3 dots at the bottom of the screen, and then tap on audio. It should give you all of the audio options. And then tap either on your internal phone microphone or your earbuds. If not, then it probably locked your audio out when you
Audio.
came in. Say that again.
You might have to go all the way out.
I mean, all the way out. All the way out. You signed in too? Made you sign back in?
Restart phone.
Yeah, log out and restart, please.
I was thinking. Maybe so. All right, that's a bet. I'm glad I can read lips. Yes, indeed. Family, show love to the crew. I definitely want you to know no guests tonight, unless you want to definitely come up and be a part of the roundtable discussion. Reach out to myself, or reach out to our platform host, Tony Renfro, and check him out on Sunday at 7 for the Knowledge is Power podcast live, his show. And then check out on Thursdays. We have our affiliates that are also on Thursdays at 7 as well. But in just the crew, just the pots, the people, the truth, we that's what we bringing together tonight. So before we start, let me set the rules, I guess. Rule number 1, bring your dish plain. No, don't hide the issue under a pretty headline or something like that. Don't do that. Rule number 2, everybody gets to taste it. Everybody want to taste. Everybody get a taste. Rule number 3, no performative agreement. We are not here to nod just because somebody said something deep. Rule number 4, no weak plates. No Dixie plates. No dollar store plates. None of them flimsy plates. And if you bring a weak plate to the table, we're going to have to strengthen it with some truth. That's all. And rule number 5, I'll bring my pot last. Okay. Being that we are going through with Dr. Campbell, Perry, go and open your pot.
All right. And my pot is not one of those stirred pots, right? At least not this pot.
Oh.
In this round, it's not a stir pot, but it is a pot where we get to put all the ingredients. I mean, it's kind of like what's that a crock pot dish, maybe, where you put it all in and just let it all simmer together. What I really been thinking about is not so much as, and I know we do a good job at highlighting issues and bringing them into focus and bringing some analysis. This week, I wanted to sort of to have us look forward, and not so much as look around and look back, but look forward. And best,
I think I hear you.
You can hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now. Welcome.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll cede the floor. I'll wait for my question and let you go on, because we've been waiting so doggone long just to hear you. Let me just go on, give up the flow so I can hear.
Because y'all know how much I
don't
hate
like
potluck.
Yeah, right.
No. Not don't like. I hate potluck.
Hate is such a strong word.
What? Okay.
So let me introduce, finally, being that she can speak to y'all. Big sis, go and say good evening to the people.
Good evening, people.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Campbell brings wisdom, precision, and the slow down and that slow down before we even lie to ourselves energy. That's it right there. Sis can stir a pot without without spilling it. But if the truth is stuck to the bottom, she's going to scrape the pan, I promise. Dr. Campbell, welcome. Now that we can hear you to the table.
Thank you.
And go on, cover your pot.
Okay. So on last week we were approached by a gentleman, and it got me to thinking, and I was like, okay, so really what is this? And it was, in a nutshell, a 15-minute city, or it was basically called a smart city. And so I'm going to break that down for you. Um, uh, think of a 15-minute city as a place where your daily life is a short walk or a bike ride away, right? The goal is that everything you need, the grocery store, the school, the clinic, the park, is within 15 minutes of your front door, right? And I'm bringing this because uh, on one hand, I think it could be a good thing, but then on another hand, I think it could be a bad thing, or it could potentially much it could eventually go into something that's questionable. I'll say that. I won't say it's a bad thing, but it'll be questionable.
Okay.
So a smart city is a tech layer that makes this work. It's the tech layer that works, that makes it work. It uses sensors and data to manage things like traffic flow and public transport to make the city run more smoothly, right? So the pros, or the good part of the city, or of this complex, is there's less commute. You get time back instead of sitting in the traffic. No more wasted hours behind the wheel.
Mm.
It's supposed to be, or it could be, healthier and greener because it encourages walking, bicycling, and reduces air pollution. And it could build a stronger community because there are more local shops and parks, which means you actually run into your neighbors and build a community type feeling, right? And then the bad part, or the cons, um, there's the big brother feel. Many worry that it'll turn into a system of control with cameras tracking your car to find you for leaving your zone, and it could lead to gentrification as well. Making a neighborhood super desirable drives prices up, which can push out people who already live there. Um, so then how do they make you comfortable living uncomfortable? And how do they rob you of your curiosity? The theory says it doesn't. Uh, the creator of this concept is Carlos Marino, and he says it's about giving you more freedom, not less. That's what he
Mm.
says. But there's a whole lot to think about in this, okay? That I'm not going to take. I'm just going to leave it to your imagination. Um, let's see. Instead of being stuck in your house commuting, your whole neighborhood becomes your living room. More places to explore locally is what he says, right? The robbing curiosity argument comes from the fear. If the design is bad or the rules are too strict, it could feel like a gilded cage, a safe, convenient, but boring bubble where you never get to experience the unexpected or travel very far.
Hmm.
It's the fear of a loss of freedom that makes people uncomfortable. Uh, and then you have to think about the fact that what I talked about earlier, will some 15-minute cities be better than others? And will
Mm.
it, gentrify some areas, whereas it'll push the people that already live there out? Well, 100% yes, it could. A city in Europe will be very, very different from one in the US or in Asia. The
Mhm.
idea isn't one size fits all. Some places might aim for a 35-minute city because that's more realistic for their layout. It's about the idea of proximity, not the exact number of minutes. Will you always be allowed to travel at will outside of your quote unquote zone? According to the real plan, is yes. You can travel freely. Hmm. The limits you hear are about the limits you hear about are from conspiracy theories and misinformation. They
Mm-hmm.
say. They say. The real life plans are not about locking you in. They're about making it so you don't have to travel for the basic stuff if you don't want to. So this isn't about flipping a switch. It happens slowly, neighborhood by neighborhood, improving walkways, bike lanes, and mixing in local shops over time. It's
Uh-huh.
more evolution than revolution. So the bottom line here is the idea is to make your life easier, but the fear is it will make it smaller. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, and it depends on how it's actually built. 15-minute cities. Think about them.
Mm.
That's
Perry,
my potluck.
Perry, you want to taste that pot?
Um, yeah, I mean it's a very interesting concept. Um, I think humanity and technology are still trying to understand how they can coexist. Um, I don't believe there's any such thing as any bad technology. Uh,
Really?
I no, I don't think there's anything as any bad technology. What I do believe is that there are some bad applications of technology. There is some poor definition of technology. I mean, the fact that, you know, for most of us here around, in this panel, um, we were not in that first group of people or groups that had computers in the home. Uh, it became a goal to have computers in the home by 96. Uh, but you know, you look at that now and you know, computers may not be in the house, but a much more destructive computer is running every house. And
Mm-hmm.
that's your smartphone, your tablet, I mean, which is a computer. And our desire for this convenience, this technology, we roll right past it, just like we roll past terms of agreements and the small print on that on that on those long papers when we're trying to buy the car. We brushing right past it, not, you know. And so yeah, when you come to 15-minute cities or even 35, I guess for me, I'm trying to find out where convenient life became the priority. Everybody's trying to find this elusive ass convenience
You know
and
what I'm gonna say?
paying out our butts for anything that looks like it's putting us one step ahead of where we already is. I mean, we're not getting that far ahead.
I'm gonna say this, Perry, to that. My mama always said lazy folks work the hardest. So It may be convenient, but there are going to be things that you're going to need outside of it. And
Right.
so, what I want to layer on top of this is all of these flock cameras that are around that are monitoring us already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the AI that's already rolled, that's not capturing faces correctly, that's
Right.
identifying people incorrectly. Those are some things to think about in these quote unquote smart cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highest percentage of uh uh percentage of people who are misidentified by facial recognition is African American women.
Hmm.
And there's been study after study that proves that African American women are the poorest uh 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 identifiers when it comes to facial recognition.
Mm.
Yeah.
I will
And
say,
eventually, again, with these smart cities and people being in their quote unquote zone and doing things just in their area, eventually they, just like they're making a lot of things seedless where we can't just grow it anymore, they can capture us in a spot because of where we are. Just like the
Oh,
food,
yeah,
being seedless, they can starve us out
yeah.
eventually, with
So
mm-hmm.
no
so
seed.
so one quick question: are smart cities relying upon data centers?
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, if everybody registers to live in this quote unquote apartment complex or this quote unquote smart city, or this 15-minute city where
Yeah,
everything is within 15 minutes of them,
yeah, yeah. I'm just
then
saying the driver for all of that smartness is coming from somewhere. So,
it's got to be data.
I'm gonna say ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
Alice,
ding.
give me data centers for 1,000.
Right,
Yeah,
Uh,
boom,
right,
boom, boom.
right. I will say the basic concept of this smart city, this smart technology, this
15 minute
15-minute
city.
city. Yeah, it's sinister on its face, right? Or
It
yeah,
is.
I mean, it sound good, right?
It sounds good, but it's sinister underneath. Yes,
um, it
because
says
there's so
people
many
ought to be
possibilities for it to go wrong.
right. It says people ought to be able to reach grocery stores, healthcare centers, schools, your job, um, your clinic, whatever, within a reasonable amount of time, whether it's a bike ride or a walk, especially a bike ride or a walk. I'm looking at living here in Beaumont, Texas, is to me a 15-minute city. Of course, that's driving in an automobile commute. Not Uber, not Lyft, not rideshare, not city bus, none of that. I'm talking about my personally owned vehicle, driving myself from my front door to, I know for sure, at least Walmart. And that's completely on the other side of the city for me. Um, One of the things that you mentioned, Dr. Campbell, is in these 15-minute cities, what current neighbors have to worry about, like you said, is gentrification and or not having the ability to gentrify their own space before someone or some other entity comes in and um, does it in a manner that displaces them, right? in their alleged 15-minute city. And then they're placed into a totally different area of that same city, but now they're paying for the commute to the 15-minute city or the 15-minute community, right? And, you know, looking at what we currently have as far as individuals, especially in Beaumont, coming or trying to come into our area, and people that don't see the bigger plan, especially one that they can have their hand in, they will, you know, ostracize or down talk, downplay, you know, come into the conversation with negativity, and the project has nothing to do with the negativity that we are enduring, right? The claims of the concept itself requires people to obtain permission to leave neighborhoods, aren't supposed that, you know, to leave their neighborhood, aren't supposed to be supported by uh, what the planning model actually proposes, right? It sounds good. Oh, I could walk 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back. I could jog 7 minutes there, 7 minutes back, right? Um, Viewed through a black community lens, y'all, this is something attractive to um, individuals, again, that may see that as a convenience, but that key word as a convenience should let you know you're going to definitely, especially if the commerce in that area is, let's say, base. We didn't even say it upscale, just base. You're paying for the convenience of walking or riding your bike 15 minutes anywhere. Of course, the park may be 3 minutes away from you, and that park may be underkept, or the amenities in it aren't conducive to the amount that you're paying. But being that you're in an area of 15 minutes or convenience, um, that's that's the space that you have that we have to worry about. Um, Building parks, like you said, Dr. Campbell, improving sidewalks, you know, adding broadband, all of these things come into play, including the infrastructure. The sidewalks that's not there, you're gonna put some, okay, that's gonna cost. The internet node that sits on the side of the road, so you will not have to worry about getting disconnected from as you commute, that's gonna cost. I mean, that's the 15-minute city. A smart city generally involves, you know, using data, all data, nothing but data. And like Perry mentioned, if your 15-minute city has all of these areas of convenience plus flock cameras, data center goes tied into it like tennis shoes. You understand that?
Right.
There is, you know, I would just say just be cautious about the terminology that individuals use, especially when they say smart city or 15-minute city, because I'm looking at this 1 billion, a billion, was it a billion that was given to Columbia for their smart city? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I just definitely want us to know if we see the vision of a 15-minute city and it's moving quicker than we could expect, hold on to your land, or if not, buy some and hold it. Lease the land. Hold the land, lease the land, and whatever developments are on your land becomes yours.
True.
Yep, that was it. That tasted pretty good, Dr. Campbell. You can close your pot if you like, unless we're gonna keep talking.
I'm closing my pot because y'all know what? I hate
Hey.
potluck. Just so you know, in case you missed it the first time.
She said, I don't know who cooked this.
Oh, I cooked it. I'm a very good cook, baby.
No, I'm talking about the other stuff that's in the room. Barry, what's in your pot, big bro?
Yeah, I will say, Dr. Campbell, it's not that I hate potlucks. I am picky about my potlucks. I will admit that. Now, it's some potlucks you don't even have to call them potlucks. You just give me the address. I know what's going on down there. So
Correct.
uh, but now I started before you came on. Y'all know me and voting. I have this affinity with voting. I follow voting. I think it's I think that it's there's nothing, no clear way to understand how people view their life is in terms of looking at voting. The participation, the results, the lack of all that goes into it. Um, I had something interesting that happened to me that was just so crazy. I'm still registered to vote in Florida, and Florida, unlike Texas, uh, has closed primaries. So you have to be a registered Democrat or registered Republican in order to participate in the primary. It's not like Texas where even if you're a Democrat, you can vote in Republican primary if you so choose. I I applaud that. I think that is true open democracy at its best. And having been involved with elections across this country, there's always some good things you can draw from some areas as well as some bad things. But what happened to me recently, I had to update my mailing address because I needed to vote by mail since I'm in Arizona and we have a primary coming up in Florida.
Correct.
Got my ballot, was looking at it, called a friend because I'm registered in Tallahassee. So I was getting some information from a friend of mine. And in doing so, I realized my ballot was jacked up because it wasn't pretty close to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're in the same precinct. And man, out of nowhere, I come to find out they had me registered as a non-party affiliate,
Mm.
which meant that I couldn't vote. Now, I've been a registered Democrat all my life. And now during this primary, you're telling me my status is a non-party affiliate. So I've got some questions that I'm calling them to find out, because I have an old voter registration that shows me as a Democrat. So I'm saying somewhere you've got to show me where I changed my party affiliation. Now, I've never once even desired changing my party affiliation. But again, and I, in fact, I wrote a big post about it, trying to get non-party affiliate voters to understand that.
I did see that post.
Yeah, that when you're a non-party affiliate, you just relinquish your right to participate in democracy at its best. Because if you wanted a candidate and you got mad because that person wasn't chosen, well, if you didn't participate in the primaries, then you've all but given up a key part of your voice in this process. So
yeah.
Anyway, long story short, yeah, that's what happened. So I was not able to vote for the Florida governor or Florida senator, the Democratic candidates. But I'm definitely gonna find out, because there has to be some history of when that changed, and I want to find out when did that change, because last 2 years ago in the primary,
right.
I voted as a Democrat. So the only thing I did was change my address. So I don't know. So again, I say all of that to say be watchful, because even for those of us who say we on top of this, I mean, there's a gotcha.
Question.
Yeah.
So here in Texas, for our for the primary, we have to declare what party we want to vote in.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all don't do that in Florida?
In Florida, it's a closed primary state, so
Okay.
you have to be a declared. So you have to declare that before
Before the primary.
registration closes.
Okay.
So so if you're NPA, and it's kind of jacked up, because NPA does nothing but really screw you. I understand you're not with either party, but during primary time it locks you out, so you can't participate in either. So
But you will be able to participate in the general in November?
Yeah, the general election. Yeah, I mean, because that's the open election. It locks you out of primaries.
But yeah, you can't choose your candidate for your party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I said all that to say, because I was still thinking about voting. And I'm always thinking of ways to try to get people more involved, because we always, we, especially this season, because we have one party that's bent on subverting every rule and undermining every every known process and step. And on the other side, all we have is a group of people saying, well, we got to get people to show up. We got to get people to show up. And I never understood what that argument meant, especially against someone who's cheating. I mean, and you can't just say, well, we just got to get more people such that it negates the cheating, and to a point that's true. But we really living in, saying that now and knowing the numbers that I see, because we have really been in a decline among Black voters. Yes, we have remained consistent, but Black voter participation is down. The older group, who is the primary group, that group is dying. And that group is getting smaller. The group of 25 to 59, it's hit or miss. And we just have to be honest about it. And so, kind of going back, not trying to hash out who not voting, but really kind of thinking of how do you really get somebody else, how do you get folk involved? And for me, it's always the best way to get adults involved is really through their children. Unless we've got some adults now, who really just don't give a damn what happens in their kids' life. I mean, I remember a time when one parent would try to get off to come see their child in the school play. But then we quit having that because we couldn't demand much of parents. But I'm just asking, if I'm a teacher and I tell you as a parent, hey parent, 1/3 of your child grade depends on you participating.
Ooh.
Would they? I mean, I'm just like, hey, hey, if I'm a social studies teacher, I mean, we keep hollering about we don't have civics. I'm just trying to figure out ways, how can we be creative to get folk involved? Because I'm just saying, if you got a parent and you tell your students, hey, listen, your parents got to take you to the poll when they go vote, and you got to tell me what you saw, and that's gonna be 1/3 of your grade, or that's gonna be something. I mean, and if we don't want to do it with kids in school, then can we as a community kind of say, hey, we'll give a scholarship to a kid who can commit the most adults to voting? You go out, you grab the adult, let them sign their name, say I'm supporting you. We do all this other bullshit for other things. I'm just saying, we at a point now that have we come out of ways of just trying to be productive. But I'm just saying, and here's the thing for me, you ask kids to do it because, I still think as a parent, you get tired of your kids asking you, Mama, you remember we got to do this? Daddy, remember you got to do the science project. As much as you hated hearing it, you knew you was going to do that. I did science projects. I did that. Can we come up with something creative now, y'all, just to get kids? And my thing is, the flip side to this is, parents, if you don't do it, you just showed your kids that you're not interested
at all.
Now, if we can't do something to get kids excited and involved around voting for them, just so that they go ask the adults around them, hey, can you take me when you go vote? Can you show me that you voted? Can you? we do all these other kind of raffles. We do everything else. I'm just saying. I throw it out there. I mean, those are just kind of some ideas I came up with, but can we come up with something to try to get folk really back involved around vote? Other than
Yes.
y'all know we need to go vote. Folk didn't heard that. Folk not responding to that. So what can we reconstitute to get something going back? That I'm just saying that if your grandkids start asking you about voting, and you got to show them that you went that you voted. I mean, that's one way to kind of, and we can check it, and that's the great thing about it. We can check
Hmm.
it. So if y'all don't lie to the babies, y'all, because we gonna check it. I'm telling you now.
Yeah. Like, and we're gonna teach them how to check it.
Right? Yeah.
Joe Stevens, you right across your face with that roll. Keep playing.
Joe was one of the first ones. I'm telling you.
Dr.
So
Campbell.
I'm
sorry.
just
I'm
thinking,
sorry,
would
Pierre.
that work in some at some community level? I don't know. I'm just throwing out an idea because we got to make sure folk participate now. But
Even more now than ever.
numbers looking up in some cases, in some places. I'm not sure in others.
Yeah. Dr. Campbell, you gonna taste
Yeah.
that pot?
Um, he's asking for ideas. And so I was sitting here thinking, and I've mentioned it before, so I'll say it again, that I feel that a lot of people are not aware of how the different offices affect their daily lives on a day-to-day basis. If you are voting for a criminal court judge,
Mm.
you want a judge that has some compassion, that won't just throw your lock your kid up forever and ever. You know that realizes
Yes.
that that child can be productive. You know that there are programs that the child can be put into, or the young person can be put into, that can transform their lives, to help them. You know, so and or if you're looking for what is Brandon's position? The
County
county
judge?
judge. Yes, the county judge. I mean, he sets the economics in your area. So you need to learn what these offices do on a day-to-day basis in your life, and then you can choose a person accordingly. Don't just wait
Mm-hmm.
for someone to tell you who to vote for. And then probably with the candidates could, give more insight on what they do, or they could be more. I noticed that, one thing about the orange orangutan, whatever he says it with a note of flattery, or a note of positivity to it, regardless to what it is, right? And I'm gonna give a prime example, because when he said this, I knew that it was bad for women. Women, we're really gonna take care of you. We're gonna protect
Whether
you,
you want it or not.
whether you like it or not. We're going to protect you. And all that meant was, we're going to take away all of your rights,
Mm.
right? So I'm not saying we need to talk in that manner, but at least give them some direction, something that they can feel positive about voting, instead of just always just saying the fact we need to go vote. It's
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
evident that we need to go vote. The history is there, and is there. It's also proven that things change when people do come together and vote.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
so I just think that the offices need to be explained to people better, or people need to look up for themselves what each office do, what each office does in their lives on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I will say this. I've kind of grown to the point because there are some things that I don't know on the ballot. So I'm not against asking. I'm just saying make sure that the folk that you ask are folk that's highly credible.
Mm,
That
mm,
You know, right? I mean, if I'm a ask, I'm going to ask someone who I know has some understanding of the issue.
mm-hmm.
And I'm not really, I may ask them what they think about it, but ultimately, I mean, I'm going to make the decision. I mean, I'm not just going to say, well, who you voting for here? I'm going, what do you know about the two?
This,
What are
yes.
you seeing? You know, and yeah, I mean, but I'm going to someone who I know, at least is going to give me some, some good advice. Just not,
Yeah. Yeah. Something sturdy. Give me something sturdy.
yeah.
Um, for y'all that's listening, I will say this: Perry's situation is not um singular. That's not a one person type situation that's going on, and it's not just happening in Florida. Many individuals who were registered in their particular precinct, especially as we move closer to these midterm elections in November, have found some inconsistencies, or some individuals have been removed from the voter roll altogether. And just like you said, about what the um, non-political party affiliation, does to individuals. Even if you are registered as an independent, you still have you know
Hmm.
a base, if you will. You still have an agenda, if you will. You still can be counted. You have representation that's listed under that, right? And so um it brings me to something that I guess, like, most people wouldn't, maybe won't don't even want to hear, because we've treated voting like an event, y'all. Like, like, my homegirl running, my homeboy running, so I'm definitely gonna vote for my homegirl or my homeboy. It needs to become a civic culture, if you will. uh it it it, it has to end where people wait until election day, and then, like you said, discover my registration isn't right, my address is wrong. um I'm listed in PA. Where's my mail-in ballot? um Where's my mail-in ballot application? Especially here in the state of Texas, you have to have that application. Who are these judges? What's this proposition? And that's too damn late to try to begin to learn how the machine works and who they put in this machine to be a cog. So when Perry talks about getting children, involved, I think that's something extremely powerful, especially in that concept. But I would definitely broaden it into an intergenerational civic engagement model, right? Like you said, not children campaigning for candidates, children learning democracy and pulling their households into civic participation, right? Um, like you said, I could imagine elementary while you were talking, I was just picturing it. Elementary students, coming home with the family civic challenge. Middle school students, where those students have the adults in their household um, check their voter registration. Basic general check, just a check.
Right.
No, it's not election season, but I need you to check it, right? Middle school students learn with the mayor, like Dr. Campbell say, with the city council, with the school board, county commissioner, county judge, state legislators, what the governor do, what these
Justice of the
particular
peace. Yes.
precincts, what are these particular precincts for? Because there are several vacant precinct chair positions throughout all of Jefferson County, let alone Texas. And so,
and if two people want to run for that precinct chair, it goes on the ballot. Precinct chair races go on the ballot.
Are voted, yeah.
What doesn't happen, what tends to happen is that the Democratic Republican chairs end up nominating people, and so therein creates this sort of not intended clique, but it is very high tendency to become cliquish.
Yes, sir.
Through the whole nomination process. And I'm not saying that for anyone in particular or whatever, but it has been. Because the conversations get narrow. Because you have people who tend to act like they own them positions. So yeah, I tend to say, run for them. If you like it that much, run for it. Don't get nominated for it. Run for it.
Here in
that's
our
how
area,
you begin to change that, huh?
Here in our area, we actually fill out an application to become the precinct chair, and if more than one person, like you said, if more than one person signs up for an area, a particular area of the city or precinct in the city, well then yes, it does go on a ballot. If only one person applies for that position, for the precinct chair for that area,
you're right,
then it's not necessary to go on the ballot.
Right.
But it is a position that's voted on by the people if there's more than one to apply for it.
Absolutely.
But just like you fill out an application to become a candidate, you also fill out an application to become a precinct chair as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I say. I think the precinct chair is the most powerful because if we say that all politics are local, there is nothing more local than the voices that make up the community that you live in.
That's right.
Absolutely. And that's, that brings, I guess, like extra credence to, the concept that you threw out there, Perry. I mean, I just, again, I've seen this happen for generations in our community, where it's gapped in civics. And so one of the things I see, especially for high school students, um, and maybe even middle school students and elementary students, could hold mock elections, whether it's in their schools or in our community. We shouldn't just be waiting for BISD or the city of Beaumont or any of these other entities to at least educate our community at large on, elections, mock elections, especially um, where you got ballot issues that come from the community. You know what I'm saying? Attendance, um, uh, attending candidate forums and observe city council meetings and learn how to, you know, record public record or request public record, uh, and even record how the public actually works, right? Eligible teenagers pre-register or re-register to become voting, the part of the voting population. Um, Parents and grandparents attend civic nights with the children, right? The child is asking mama, are we voting? The parent
Yeah.
and the parent tell him, no, I don't vote, I don't participate in politics. And the parent don't realize that their child's free lunch is tied to those same conversations in politics.
Right. Right.
That's
And
right.
again, politics is
So they need
nothing
to
but the
know.
conversation. If you're not
Right.
engaged in policy, all you did was talk a good game.
Right.
And that's where we're failing a lot in our community, is we talk a damn good game. But when it comes time for strategy, when it comes time for resolve, when it comes time for actually politicking, you're disconnected,
Right.
completely disconnected. And we find ourselves as community in the position that we find ourselves in as a country,
Right.
I can
especially being that you said elections and voting happens locally.
I can remember when my oldest boy was in school, and the counselor at that time happened to be my senior, my English 4 teacher, but she had matriculated to a counselor by the time my son got in school, and
Who was that?
she, huh?
Who was your counselor?
Who was my
Who was your
English 4
counselor?
teacher?
Yeah.
Pauline Mouton.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so she was very instrumental in elementary school. She taught them about voting in elementary school. She had them to run for class offices like the class president, secretary, treasurer of each grade. And so the kids had to nominate a person. They had to those people had to campaign, write speeches, and they had to make signs to put up around the school. My son ran for treasurer and he won, you know. And right now, my son, he makes sure that his whole family votes. You know, when he was in college on the Hill, Prairie View,
PV.
right? Yes. When when he was on the Hill, he came home to vote, right?
Yep. Yep.
He didn't do a mail-in ballot. He came home because he learned the importance of voting in elementary school, right? And he learned how it affected him to vote.
Mm,
So I I,
mm.
I agree. We do need to indoctrinate our children more so in this effort for sure, because it does determine how you live, where you live.
Right, right,
And if you're
right.
not if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu.
Correct. Correct. I
Yeah.
mean, I will say this, and then I think I'll be done. Uh, with my food because I'm about to sop it up with a biscuit right fast, and then I'm gonna let you have your pot. Um, Something that you said, Perry, I have to agree 100% with. I have to agree 100%. We do not need another generation that simply knows how to vote. We need one that knows why government works the way it works
Mm-hmm.
and why where the money goes, who made the decision, how to challenge it, how to verify these particular policies or
Right.
record, if you will, how to organize. That's one of the things Dr. Campbell said that her son learned in school is how to organize
Yeah.
and,
Right.
and, and how to hold somebody's, I almost said it, how to hold somebody's self accountable after election day. Because voter turnout alone um, is the finish line of voter mobilization. You know, civic
Right.
literacy is the beginning of political power. And your your messed up ballot situation gives again gives that everybody that ultimate check-in, right? Like whatever ultimately caused it, let me make sure I'm good. Um,
Right.
it's a good demonstration of why for community as to say why I'm registered can never again be the end of the conversation. Yes, you are
Right.
registered, but your child said you have not voted in the past 6 to 8 elections. That means
Right.
county, state, city, and federal elections. And
Right.
so, you know, yeah, that's where I'm gonna drop off at. That tastes good. Especially right before next episode. I just want y'all to know that. All right, Perry, you putting your top on your pot.
That's it. That's it. I got this last little piece of bread. I'm gonna get this last little corner.
Hey man, you better look. You better get that sweat out the top, cause I done that sweat at the top got seasoning in it. I heard. I promise. Um,
Telling you.
I want y'all to know my pot has 2 layers. It's like a lagazanaga, not a lasagna, a lagazanaga. That's what I said.
Like
The
an,
the first layer in my pot is the Obama era. The second layer is what came after it. The rise of black commentary being used to comfort power while black families, especially black families in the South, are still bleeding. So let's start with Obama. A lot of people talk about President Barack Obama like he was elected king or something. Like he trying to portray as he the orange orangutan. Like this man walked into the White House, sat behind the desk, waved a black president hand, and could have fixed everything if he really wanted to. Let me just say to y'all that is lazy as hell. For you to even think that, that's a lazy mind. For you to even think that is historically sloppy in everything that you could imagine. That is civics with no seasoning. That's ooh, I almost said something. Ooh, but let me be clear with y'all. Obama is not above critique. I just want y'all to know that. We can critique his policies. We can critique what he did and what he did not do. We can ask whether he was too careful. We can ask whether black folks got symbolic pride without enough targeted material repair. We can ask whether respectable politics cost us too much. We can ask whether he should have spoken more directly to black economic needs. All of that is fair, y'all. All of that, I mean, that makes perfect sense, 100%. What we are not going to act like Congress did not exist. We're not going to act like Congress did not exist. We're not going to act like the Senate does not exist. We're not going to act like the courts does not exist. We're not going to act like lobbyists, governors, state legislators, media machines, racial backlash, if you will, and midterm elections were just decorations, especially because we had elected America's first, the United States of America's first black president. Because the president office is powerful, but the president is not the whole government, not like what we're seeing now at all. Congress controls legislation. The Senate confirms nominees. Court shapes what survives. States resist, they sue, they delay, and they sabotage. And when the opposition, hear me and hear me well, when the opposition decides that the mission is not governing, but making sure the president cannot succeed, that changes the playfield all the way around. So when people say, why didn't Obama just do this, or why didn't Obama just do that, pass this or pass that, I need you to know what kind of conversation you missed out on and the one that we are having. We are having a grown civic conversation on that particular part. Or are we doing no shade to most, but barbershop politics with no Congress, no Senate, no filibuster, no courts, no lobbyists, no racism, no midterms, no system, no machinery. Because the second conversation is easy. It's just not serious. Remember Mark Garland or Merrick Garland? Obama nominated him to Supreme Court in 2016, right? That nomination never got a vote. That was the Supreme Court seat. It never got a vote. That was generational power. That was the future of America being held at the door. That was the system saying you can sit in the White House, but don't forget how many locks we still control. So my first point is this: stop judging black leadership like the machinery around black leadership is neutral. Again, yes, critique Obama and anybody else that wears your hue. But damn me, stop judging black leadership like the machinery around black leadership is neutral. Ask the hard questions, y'all. Don't worship nobody. Don't hold favoritism to nobody. I got 3 friends that's elected. We're still friends, but between the hours of 8 and 8, you are elected somebody. And if you in a different position of electability, then you work 24 hours. Mayor, commissioner, y'all work 24 hours. At large, county judge, you work 24 hours. You on the clock for us 24 hours out the day. And by George, I think I need my representation 24 hours out of the day. Let's not erase obstruction just because critique feels easier when you're the one pretending he governed well or governed in a vacuum. America gave Black people the image of the presidency while keeping 1,000 hands on the lever around it. Right? So that's just one layer of the pot. The second layer after Obama, a certain lane got hotter. The Black conservative mouthpiece lane. And before somebody starts clutching pearls, let me say this plainly. I'm not saying every Black person has to be Democrat. I'm not saying every Black person has to be a liberal. I'm not saying every Black person, every critique of Black people, rather, or Black culture is anti-Black. That's not what I'm saying. Black people are not robots, nor are we a monolith. We can disagree, we can debate, we can challenge each other, and personal responsibility absolutely matters, right? But here is where I draw the daggum line. When a Black voice becomes valuable to power because that voice is willing to minimize Black pain, mock Black concern, dismiss Black grief, or translate white resentment into Black packaging, we have a problem. I got a problem. That's the lane I'm talking about. That Brandon Tatum type of lane. You know who I'm talking about? I'm just telling the truth lane. That always somehow makes Black grief look exaggerated and white comfort look innocent. That lane where folks become Black permission slips, if you will, for people who never cared about Black suffering until they found out a Black person willing to dismiss it, struggle and all, just for them. Now, when Black youth are harmed, killed, betrayed, or discarded, especially by alleged friends, allies, officers, classmates, neighbors, or people they thought were safe, where are those loud folks? Where he at? Where are they? Or do they just rush to protect the comfort of the audience that pays attention to them? Do they demand full investigation? Do they prop themselves up for full investigation? Or do they rush and say, this not about race before the family even buried the child? Do they ask why Black boys, Black girls, Black young adults, Black families are so often uncovered, undercovered, misinformed, misframed, or even explained as, made to feel inferior, explained away? Something I've seen one of our previously elected individuals in the city council do. And they not Black though, they weren't Black. Or do they tap dance into the algorithm and call it independent thought? Because some folks are not commentators, y'all. They are permission slips. They show up when the power said, hey, I need me a Black body to say, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. They show up when the issue is race. They show up when the issue is policing, when the issue is white violence, when the issue is Black death, or when the issue is systematic failure. And the whole job is to make the people asking questions look crazy. That's not telling the truth. That's a narrative laundering, if you will. You taking my narrative to the cleaners. You whitewashing it. That is taking dirty laundry of the dirty laundry of power, washing it in black voice, folding it neatly and handing it back to the public and saying, you know, it's clean. It's clean. It's clean, I promise. And I'm sick of it, y'all, because we cannot keep letting black faces be used to neutralize black grief. We cannot continue to keep confusing contrarianism with courage. That's not the same. That brother is contrary in all his ways. And that's an old person word I haven't heard or used in a very long time. He's contrary. We can't keep mistaking proximity to whiteness for independent thought. Sometimes you are not brave. Sometimes you are just useful. And that is dangerous because our young people see it and they calling it out. They see black pain debated like entertainment, black death explained away. They see grief of mothers that have black children have to prove their child mattered. That's suspicious in the things that they see, and the stories accepted sometimes in our communities too fast. They see black families told to calm down, all before the truth is even dragged into the light. What you want? How am I calm down and I don't have a clue as to what happened to my child? I don't have a clue as to how my church got bombed. I don't have a clue as to how all these black bodies going missing with no autopsy, no proof, no nothing. Y'all got flock cameras everywhere, like Dr. Campbell say. I just passed by her house today and saw one that y'all done stuck right there in her yard.
No permission.
None whatsoever. And then black people wonder, or people wonder why the community don't trust media, police, courts, politicians, or talking heads like Tatum's. So my part is this, y'all. We need political memory. We need civic literacy. We need racial discernment. We need to understand what actually happened during the Obama era so that we won't repeat it again. Because if he had the support in the House and the Senate, many of the bills that he would have liked to have passed would have probably passed. And although we know if you take care of the black agenda, you take care of America. I'm just saying. We need enough of discernment to recognize when a black mouth is being used to speak anti-black comfort into white microphones. That doesn't mean we stop thinking. It means we start thinking deeper. We ask, who benefits from this narrative, bro? Who gets protected, blamed, silenced, paid, buried? Who gets turned into a lesson before they even get justice? And who keeps showing up to tell us not to believe your own damn eyes? That's my pot. Y'all eat it all y'all want.
I'm just gonna lick my fingers because you get it all. You work that out, buddy.
I tried to. That's why I had to layer it, because I'm listening to individuals like Brandon Tatum come with all kinds of hoopla, especially when he was recently on the Surrounded episode. This dude had no, inkling of history. One of the history teachers on the panel or in the circle told him as they were debating, "You are uneducated," and that's the kind they like. Perry, you gonna test some of my food?
Yeah, you stirred that one up quite a bit down.
Didn't he though?
Dr. Campbell say she full already. I spoon fed her, she say.
Yes, indeed.
Man, you muted, Perry.
And I guess I'd also like to maybe sort of add as a little covered dish to your meal.
You got gravy for that?
Um, this other group that's also doing us a disservice, and that's this group that takes civic pride and mixes it with ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the establishment also knows how to get those people to help quell any potential uprising.
Mm.
And so that's why you see certain people get certain placement whenever there's an issue with the city. But do you ever really have you ever really asked yourself what has ever come of all of these placements and all of these nominations on the boards and seats? How has the city benefited? How has the community benefited?
Yep.
You know, and you know whether we call them gatekeepers or whatever, we we do have to address the idea that if someone's going to help speak for our community, it's now time that we quit having them cherry pick
Mm.
among us who those voices are.
Yeah. 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 Chat, I know y'all been sitting, listening, probably picking y'all teeth, because somebody need to go make us some Kool-Aid or something. I got a question for you all in the chat. For our chat question, what is more dangerous? Put a 1 in the chat for a system that blocks Black progress openly. Put a 2 in the chat for a system that blocks Black progress quietly. Put a 3 in the chat for Black voices used to excuse the blockage. Or put a 4 in the chat for a community with no political memory. Or put 5 in the chat for all of it working together. Definitely want you to drop your number. Go ahead, do that now. Anybody at the table want to respond to that? I know y'all was like, I wasn't even expecting no right. That's in the chat. I want I definitely want y'all to know before I put my pot top back on. We need political maturity. We need civic understanding. We need witnesses. We need people who will tell the truth when Black children die. We don't need celebrity worship. And we for damn sure don't need another mouthpiece. Tell the truth when black families grieve. Tell the truth when systems stall. Tell the truth when Congress blocks us. Tell the truth when the Senate power is used like a locked gate. Tell the truth when white approval starts buying black voices wholesale, because the community cannot afford to eat every plate somebody brings. Like I said in the beginning, some food is poison. Some seasoning is propaganda. Some dishes are cooked in somebody else's kitchen. And if we don't learn how to taste for truth, we will keep swallowing narratives that were never made to nourish us. That's it. That's my final word. That's my final word on that pot. So, Dr. Campbell, give us something that's gonna wrap us up for the rest of the week. Perry, you follow, and then I'll close us out.
So, for the rest of the week, and since I was talking about the 15-minute city, that's where I'm going to stay right there. Okay. Don't confuse convenience with captivity.
Mm.
Just because something is closed doesn't mean you're trapped. Your feet still work, your car still runs. The real question isn't whether you can leave, it's whether you choose to stay because life got easier. A city can hand you everything you need, but curiosity, that's on you.
Yeah,
So go find something that isn't on the map.
yeah, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. Perry, you got the floor.
Uh, my my thought for the week is if life is so busy that you've never really taken a moment to really look at yourself, I just challenge you, spend 1 minute just looking at yourself in the mirror before you go to work, before you leave the house. Look at you.
Oh, that's
I'm
deep.
finding it amazing that some people go through the day and they never really take a moment to just
Yes,
look at themselves, to just see if I see a blemish, to see if I just something is, if everything is okay.
Hmm.
And that's just something to be said,
yeah,
that we have become so consumed with life that we don't even take a moment to look at the one person that's keeping this whole thing together for you. You. And so if you don't even look at yourself, how do you even know yourself?
yeah,
True.
yeah.
So let's just start with looking at ourselves.
Hey, we told y'all that. We told y'all that last week. Better look in the mirrors.
Right.
Better put what you say. What you say? Everybody got. They might not have a computer, but they got one worse. Better put that iPhone on flip screen so they can see you, so you can see yourself. Better put that phone camera on flip screen so you can look at yourself. I heard what he said. I heard him. Family, tonight was one of our potlucks, the type of episode Dr. Campbell can't stand. And always,
Hate.
correction, Dr. Campbell hate, but I always come with that swang. I promise. I promise. But don't miss what happened, y'all. Every pot tonight had a different flavor, but the same question keep rising. Can we tell the truth before the damage becomes normal in our community? That is what this whole night was about. Whether we're talking about Dr. Campbell's pot, Perry's pot, and I'm sure if Dustin would have been on, his pot would have been right along with it. Of course, in my pot, with the Obama era obstructions and black voices being used to excuse black pain, yeah, the same issue was on the table. Can we think deeper? Can we remember better? Can we stop letting people use our pre-cooked narratives and call them the truth? Because the people with no memory can be manipulated. A people with no receipts can be lied to. A people with no discernment can be represented by anybody with the right complexion and the wrong agenda. I just want you to know that. And the people who confuses proximity to loyalty will keep getting sold wolf tickets out by those same folks who look familiar. So here's my wrap up. Do not eat everybody's plate. That grandma already told you, don't eat from everybody. And she also told you, don't eat behind nobody. I'm just saying.
So
Don't
why we
trust
gotta do
every
potluck?
voice.
No, that's right.
Don't clap for every black face on a white funded stage. Do not confuse critique with betrayal. Do not confuse loyalty with silence. Do not confuse independence, our own independent thought, with anti-black rhetoric and performance. And do not let anybody make you forget the machinery that keeps showing up whenever black power starts forming. This week, I want everybody to do 3 things. 1, study the structure, not just the symbol. A president is not Congress. A slogan is not a policy. A speech is not law. Representation is not power unless power can move material conditions. I'm just saying. Number 2, protect black grief from public entertainment. When our children, our youth, our families, our communities are harmed, do not let outsiders or paid insiders rush the story into a comfortable shape. Ask questions, demand records, support families, watch the language, follow the money, follow the narrative. That's what you do. Number 3, build political memory. Stop letting things that we know come out of the system be surprising to us. Stop letting people tell you what happened if they cannot explain who had power, who blocked power, who benefited, who stayed silent, because there's a whole bunch of quiet sapsuckers in our corner, allegedly. And who got paid after. That's how we stop getting played, y'all. That's how we stop getting played. To my sister, Dr. Campbell, thank you for bringing your pot to the table. To my big brother, Perry Busby, thank you for bringing your pot. And of course, like I said, in the spirit of my little brother, Dustin, while he helping the missus get the kiddos ready for school tomorrow, I definitely know that he was bringing something on BISD's head. I'm sure about it. I'm almost sure about it.
No
and to
doubt.
everybody watching on Facebook, right? To everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you're watching or listening to the Knowledge is Power network, definitely, I appreciate you tuning in to the Roundtable Talk Show on this Tuesday. This has been the Roundtable Talk Show, episode 73. Potluck at the round table. Everybody bring a dish, but don't nobody bring a lie. Take this conversation back to your kitchen. Bring it to your chat group. Bring it to your family. Bring it to your church family. Bring it to our community and ask who cooked this story, who served it, who benefits if we swallow it, and what truth do we need to bring to the next potluck? I'm Christopher Jones. Good night, family. Stay sharp, stay black, stay discerned, stay unbought, and as always, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time. Bless you night.